Cathaoirleach, thank you. Minister, the retrofitting scheme was both welcome and ambitious, but the public are anxious to know when the one-stop shops for the home energy upgrades will be available and if the locations of these have been decided. Look, I am hopeful there will be an even spread across the country. In our own area, Carlow, Kilkenny, it is so important that information is out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Minister.
Indeed. The recently launched National Home Energy Upgrade Scheme introduced a new, highly customer-centric way to undertake home upgrades. SEAI-registered one-stop shops will provide an end-to-end service for homeowners. This includes surveying, designing the upgrades, managing the grant process, helping with access to finance, engaging contractors and quality assurance. The scheme offers unprecedented grant levels, increased from around 30 to 50% of the cost of a typical B2 home energy upgrade with a heat pump. It's expected that the one-stop shops will be distributed across Ireland, with a considerable number offering services nationwide through their network of contractors throughout the country. Other one-stop shops will likely work within geographic regions. This will ensure that every home can benefit from the one-stop shop service and offer. Following government approval, the SEAI registration portal for companies to apply to be a one-stop shop has opened. A number of one-stop shops have already applied, and it is expected that following the necessary process, the first will be registered in the coming weeks. Homeowners will then be able to make applications for upgrades under the new scheme. So to summarise, Deputy, that a number of one-stop shops have already been approved. We won't announce them until the registration process is properly concluded, but they will be in place in the next 2 weeks or so.
Thanks, Mr. Deputy.
You know, Minister, I think the network of the one-stop shop that will handle all the work involved in carrying out a significant energy upgrade is really good to homes, and I know that people have to apply for this, but I just want to ask you, can you tell me, is there going to be a recruitment campaign for apprenticeships, and also how long will that take? I mean, that is the biggest issue, and we know ourselves that there is a lack of apprenticeships here, but also I want to ask you about the turnaround time will obviously depend on the response time of these organisations as they scale up to deliver the task ahead. So are they ready to hit the ground running? Or are homeowners going to be waiting years to get someone to look at the job? And I just think, again, Minister, communication is key here, and giving people in every area the communication of what is happening, what is the timescale, what is the grant, how much it costs. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Minister.
Just to give details on the skills issue, in last year's budget, the government provided 22 million for the Green Skills Action Programme, with a particular focus on provision in near zero energy building and retrofitting, with significant increase in course places. And the total number of places, Minister Harris actually came up to me after we launched the National Retrofit Scheme to say that not only do we have a massive response from householders who were interested, but the phone was ringing off the hook in those centres. There's some 5,000, I think, apprenticeship places there now. And a lot of them, the great attractive thing about it is it doesn't have to be a prolonged process. A lot of the skills training in this can be done in a relatively short period. People who, with existing skills, can upgrade, are new people to go into the industry. So what we're seeing is real uptake of interest. That change in the CEO process that Minister Harris also announced in November, which puts those apprenticeship options before young people, is also, I think, going to be transformative. So I'm confident we will get in the next 3 years the 17,000, I think, places that he set as a target, and that we will have the workers to deliver the retrofits we need.
Thank you, Deputy.
Yeah, no, that's very welcome, Minister, and I welcome that. And my other concern is, as we know, people get very confused by the different types of grants on offer, and I am concerned about about this communication. For example, the scheme is also offering a pay of 80% of the cost of doing simple work such as your attic or your cavity wall insulation. But these latter grants mean that these jobs would cost only about €300 each, but together could knock about 20% off the annual heating bill. So I just think, again, people are ringing me about that. So many people will probably still opt to go directly to a contractor for smaller jobs, even as the one-stop shop will offer the expertise and skills needed for deeper their retrofits. But can you tell me more about the options there for smaller jobs that perhaps homeowners would like to take on themselves without a contractor? Can they do that? And tell me, can we ensure that there will be no price hikes Because, you know, we see with the contractors there with the premium and the prices and how things are gone, we can't afford to have things, you know, being priced, that the price is higher, and that's a huge issue again, Minister, that people have contacted me about. Look, I want to welcome this. I really think it's so important with energy costs and fuel bills, but I think at this stage we need to make sure that the information is correct.
Minister to conclude.
Just to be clear, that 80% grant was done very specifically in response to the immediate price crisis in terms of high fossil fuel prices due to those international factors. So it was done very deliberately, and it was targeting measures that could be done quickly and relatively cheaply, attic insulation and wall insulation. I don't think householders will be doing it or should be doing it on their own, because there is issues around when you go into the attic, you know, putting in insulation, you want to make sure there's still ventilation so you don't cause other downtime, or even the injecting is how it would work in the cavity wall. No householder would have the equipment, or it's not, you know, that would be a better job for a skilled contractor. And I recommend the SCAI website as a way of going through the complexity of this. And I think when the one-stop shop is there, that will help tremendously, because that will be where the whole idea is that someone can go to someone who will give that advice, give the overall picture as to what can and should be done.
Thank you, Minister.